Hey everybody, this is Dr. Nashlie with the Garden of Nash. Thanks so much for tuning in and welcome back for those who've been with us before. I am a techie and I love to garden, and so I'm sharing my tech tips. I'm sharing my garden tips, I'm sorry. We may get to some garden tech tips too eventually, but it is September and we have still pretty hot climates during the daytime, in the mornings, which it's the morning now, and the sun is shining bright, but it's actually like in the lower 60s. And so I'm in 7B, 8A area in the Atlanta, Georgia area. It is pretty cool at night, overnight, but it still gets into the 80s in the daytime. So what in the world do you grow with a climate and a temperature changes like that? And as you see, our circadian folks are in the trees singing to us this morning. And so what I decided was anything leafy greens, anything in terms of frost-tolerant plants. So here I actually have some collard greens. These are actually blue collards that I got from a local store. And then these are actually kale. I think this is curly kale. And then I also have some cabbage down here. So I have a bed here. I actually tried to grow some broccoli seedlings. They haven't actually come up yet. And so I think some of them did and they didn't do so well. I actually, again, went out of town and I just forgot that my watering system was actually turned off. So we actually lost some of those seeds, but we're gonna revitalize this bed here. If you recall from a previous video, we've already had a lot of fertilizer, our vermiculite in this bed. And for frost-tolerant plants, this should do really well. And so remember, if you want to know what to grow in terms of other things to grow in September, so we have our cabbage, we have our curly kale, we have our collards. You can also grow mustards. We have some mustards growing seeds in another part of the bed. And we want to also highlight that you can grow things like carrots. Some people can even grow broccoli in that area, in their areas. And so look up your zone. Make sure you know, for those newbies to gardening, make sure you look up your USDA zone to find out what your temperatures are. And then the key, remember, the key is always, when is your first frost date and when is your last frost date for the season, for winter season. If you know that, you know that's how much growing season you have left. And remember, for the frost-tolerant plants, all your seeds that are frost-tolerant, you can also look it up. What are some frost-tolerant plants and seeds that you can grow? Or buy them from a local farmer's market. Those will survive throughout the winter. I've even had snowfall here. Now granted, we don't get a lot of snow in Georgia, but that snow that does come, the snowpocalypse, it did not kill my collards or kale that I had last year. So those are some of the things, just some of the tips to know. And we also can cover your plants if you do get a really bad storm, ice storm, for those that do live in those areas. I used to live in New York. I also used to live in other areas in the Midwest. They got really cold during the winter season and well into the spring season. And so those are things that you would just have to be aware of, but you can always cover your plants if you're concerned about that, or buy some really cool covers, which I can't wait to show you all in future videos how we've already invested in some of that and how that's going to affect us getting a longer growth season. Stay tuned for those videos too. All right, so let's get to it. We got a lot of work here cut out for us. Now this is just some old basil that I clipped off of this that was growing kind of crazy, because I wanted to get more room for my chamomile. Our last video, we planted the chamomile so we can drink some chamomile tea. So I'm just gonna put this here for now. We can also harvest some of that basil. Remember, it's going to seed. Now these cucumbers, thanks for the suggestion to grow Swiss chard. I'm also gonna consider growing that in September as well. And we're gonna get the last few cucumbers off of this cucumber plant. I see about 4 cucumbers in there. I need to get off the vine and pull those out, and then we'll be able to grow some other things in there. And then once I get my peppers out, again, we get pretty hot in the September days here. So we still got peppers growing and things like that. So we're gonna take advantage of that, of course, but we wanna prepare for our winter season. So I've already started coming over here and planting some of my cabbage. and we're gonna get that into the ground. So the whole point is I wanna get all the cabbage and the greens over here, and then my kale, I'm gonna save that because I wanna plant that in my cedar bed once we pull the cucumbers out. We also can plant some of that kale over in this bed because again, I lost some of my seeds that were growing because I neglected to water them. So we got a lot of recovery to do here, but let's get to it. Okay, there you have it. Hopefully you enjoyed that. And I'm excited because I finally got those in the ground. Now, of course, I gotta go through and water them. I would normally have my watering pot next to me and water them as I'm putting the plants in the ground to make sure those roots get water, but it'll be okay. We'll go back with the hose pipe and make sure we soak them really good. You notice I saved a few for my cucumber bed, so at some point we'll get those out and switch those out. I actually said I had collards, but that's actually broccoli. But you can eat the leaves of broccoli. You can eat the leaves of cabbage before those brassicas or those plants and that fruit even grows. And so we're excited. We're gonna keep the hope alive. And remember, you can grow things in September. So again, this is Dr. Nashlie with the Garden of Nash. Have you started your garden yet?